people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman, I love what she's doing, she's fighting for us. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
There's an important lesson here for us today. A free republic can only survive if its citizens are willing and able to defend it ideologically and to stand up for its founding principles. And there's an old conservative joke. It says that an elite liberal is someone who is so broad-minded that they can't even take their own side in an argument. And I think I can apply to some of the college professors. But, you know, joke when we have seen, even recently, American diplomats apologizing to a communist dictatorship because of one of our sister states here in the good old United States of America, Arizona, just trying to enforce an American federal law. To apologize for that. Or if we get an administration that unilaterally tries to end the war on terror, not by winning it, but instead by no longer referring to it as a war on terror, as if the evil terrorists will stop attacking us once we proclaim that we just won't call it terrorists or terrorism anymore. That's not how it goes. That is as dangerously naive as the supposedly broad-minded intellectuals who defend repulsive practices like female mutilation in some countries simply because, well, they claim, well, that's part of their culture, so we don't talk about it. We'll tolerate that. That's part of their culture. That reminds me of the 19th century British general, Sir Charles Napier. He was commander-in-chief in India. Years ago, he made a controversial decision to ban the barbaric practice of suiting. And that's where Indian men would burn a widow alive by putting her on a funeral platform, a pyre, with her dead husband. When Indian men protested that, hey, this ritual is just part of our culture, well, Napier answered that if they insisted on exercising that cultural right, then he'd introduce them to a British custom. And what he told them was, well, in Britain, when men burn a woman alive, we hang them. So you build your funeral platforms and we'll build our gallows. You follow your custom, we'll follow ours. And needless to say, that terrible crime against women became scarcer and scarcer under Napier's insistence. Like him, we have to have the courage of our convictions in taking a stand against evil when confronted with it, and sometimes that means calling evil by its name. For example, regardless of what some politically correct intellectuals say, a terrorist like Osama bin Laden is not a freedom fighter. He does not fight for freedom, he fights against it. And he fighting against democracy and all of our ancient liberties. How dare we want to label him anything that has kind of a positive connotation as being a freedom fighter? And it's not just about calling evil evil. It's not just about being against something, but it is being for something right. It's about being unashamed to defend what is good about our culture and in our country. Not thinking that we must apologize for what America stands for, but we must honor our belief in the fundamental rights and the dignity of every innocent human being. And we must celebrate our relentless sunny optimism. Remember, that's what Reagan was known for. That had to have come from California, that sunny optimism. And that pioneering spirit that built this country, it inspired us to cross oceans and carve out a life in the wilderness. And by the sweat of our brow to create and contribute and to build a better life in America. We must embrace our entrepreneurial drive to build and to produce and to innovate and allow America to remain the world standard bearer for excellence. And we must affirm our willingness to stand up for people across the globe who are yearning to be free. They look to us. We are that beacon of hope for what it means to be free And truly, that is nothing to apologize for. Now, we could spend the precious, valuable time trying to build some complicated, bureaucratically blessed new national civics curriculum, I'm sure, in all of our schools, but to be honest, in the end, it all comes down to good old-fashioned common sense. And I know that on a lot of college campuses, that ain't a real cool thing. It's not real. Yeah, just have some common sense. But ask parents what they want in their child's education, and they're probably going to tell you that they don't care much for all this political stuff. What a parent desires for their child's education is basic, and they want the 3 R's, and they want true history taught, our country, our laws, our traditions, our arts, and our literature, and our heroes and our statesmen. They want true teaching of our geography and biology, and getting to know the world in which we live in, and the beautiful creatures which we share this planet with, and within science, finding out how things work and unraveling the mysteries of the universe, and not shying away from being able to debate differing sides of theories and ideas, and a basic knowledge of right and wrong. That's what we desire in our children's education. And obviously these things aren't exclusively the purview of universities, but schools and universities do play such a crucial role in educating young people about what it means to be an American. And it is up to the universities to help make sure that our liberties are secured for the next generation. And you do that by promoting those values on which our free society has been built, and sometimes too by opposing those that undermine it, to have the boldness, the courage, like Ham has at this university, to kind of buck the tide, not just go with the flow. As a commercial fisherman, I look down there at the run of fish, and I know it's only dead fish go with the flow. But someone like Ham, shake it up and to allow that debate of different sides of issues, that's what's valuable here on this campus. Politicians have to do their part too by ensuring the survival of the institutions on which our free society is built. One can't do one without the other. President Kennedy said, "Liberty without learning is always in peril, and learning without liberty is always in vain." From Valley Forge to Gettysburg, Omaha Beach, the fate of America has always kind of skirted a precipice, but most of us, we never doubt that it's been a providential hand that has guided us and is guiding us towards a better future. Education's highest aim should be instilling in students a sense of this uniquely American predicament, of the fragility of it, as well as the greatness of this Republican experiment of ours, and an awareness that the survival and the success of liberty depends on them. And I do believe that America is great because she is good, and that we are a force for good in this world, not something to apologize for, but something to be proud of. America is truly the exceptional country, and we are, in the words of Lincoln, that last best hope on earth. And if we do it right, we remain, in the words of the Golden State's Ronald Reagan, this shining city on a hill, we're the abiding alternative to tyranny. So let us help our young people understand this. Let's teach the next generation what it means to be American, and you are so on the right track here at CSU. So God bless you. Thank you for being part of the solution.